WRPB and WRP Studios. So, the gentleman sitting next to me has been in the painting industry for years. And what's interesting is he moves from north to south, like most people, and he finds a niche because of the need and because where he's living, going to be living. With me is Peter Songster,
Yes, sir.
Songster Boat Painting.
Yes, sir.
So you paint boats.
I do.
So you were in the industry, you know paint, you were painting houses up
I've
north.
painted houses since I was a kid. My dad was a painter, and we relocated from Pennsylvania down to Florida about 4 years ago, and I decided to branch out.
Why boats?
Um, well, for one, the need down here is a lot greater. Um, Everyone that I know has a boat,
Wait,
and especially living on the coast in the
do you
salt
have a
water.
boat?
I do.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Because I was gonna say you haven't made. Everyone you know has a boat. As long as you don't have one, you, okay.
That's a lot of favors to repay, though.
Okay,
It's
that's
easier to
true.
have your own.
That's sometimes that's true.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
But everyone has one, and living on the coast, the salt water just eats boats alive and eats the paint and the fiberglass, and it's extremely important to keep up with it.
So how often should a boat be painted? A fiberglass boat.
Typically 5 to 10 years, about 10 years.
What's interesting is when I was back in Brooklyn initially, I had a boat that was wood.
Okay.
Okay, most people might think it's Noah's Ark because I'm that old, but it really wasn't. Okay, and we had to take care of that boat like nobody's business
Oh yeah, I
every
bet.
year.
I bet.
Okay, and then fiberglass. My next boat was fiberglass,
Yeah, big
and
step up.
and it was really easy. The biggest painting thing that you have on a little boat or any boat, I guess, is the bottom paint.
Correct.
Okay, is that like really what your main focus is?
No, I do everything, but bottom painting is mainly focused for boats that stay in the water constantly. Like if you have a slip and you keep it constantly in the water, the formula of bottom paint wards off marine growth. So if it's not going to be constantly washed and taken care of, then you definitely want to stick with bottom painting.
So you're gonna bottom paint your boat. Now it's time for you to paint it.
Hmm.
So it comes out of the water
Yep.
and it goes on some sort of stanchion that holds it up.
Boat stands. Yes,
Okay.
correct.
So I guess you have to move it because once you paint around those stands.
It's definitely a process.
Okay,
Yeah.
so it would be a process to move.
Yes, it
So
is.
I'm going to guess, correct me if I'm wrong, that for you it's a matter of you don't really need a warehouse. You really go from marinas to marinas to marinas to
Um,
people's houses.
I do both. I have a shop that people can bring their
Okay,
smaller boats in. It accommodates up to 33 footers.
that's not a small boat anymore.
No, I guess not anymore. But I
Well,
can take any boat up to that size. Otherwise, I am mobile.
well, when I say it's not a small boat anymore, I'm really kind of thinking of the price tag. Okay, a
Yes.
33 because I had a 34 foot.
Okay.
I had a 34-foot Sea Ray.
Okay.
It was a big boat.
Oh yeah,
Okay,
definitely.
and you could take it anywhere. And I was up north, down here, that boat breezes to the Bahamas and back.
Oh yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so guy calls you and says, "I have my boat. I want to take it out of the water and have the bottom painted."
Hmm.
What's the process?
If it's too big for if he doesn't have a trailer or if it's too big for my actual shop, I would have him come. My local place that I do work is Cracker Boy Boat Works there in Fort Pierce.
Okay,
He would sail it or run it to them. They pull it out of the water. They put it on stands. That's their service, and then I would show up and I would do all the bottom painting.
so you have a good rapport with them. So
Correct.
after you paint around the stands,
Then
they'll move it
they
right
move it.
because you just can't lift it
They
yourself.
move
I
it.
don't think.
No, no, no. They'll move it, and then I just give it a little bit of time to cure, and then redo it, and then you take it and be on your way.
Okay, which is that was like I'm gonna guess from my experience that the bottom painting is most important.
It is most important again if you keep your boat in the water. I would say it's a necessity, downright necessity. Now,
Okay,
if you trailer your boat, keep it in your driveway and all that, it's not needed.
because you're gonna hose it
You
down and
hose it
you're
down, you
gonna.
wash it, whenever like my boat stays on a trailer, whenever I bring it out, first thing that happens, you flush the engine and you wash the whole thing down. Otherwise, after a day, you rub your finger on it, you'll see the salt built up.
Okay, so what about the rest of the boat? What about painting the rest of the boat?
That's more fun. That turns into what color you want, what gloss, what you use it for. That's typically what people enjoy getting done. That's your the true TLC. You know, when your family comes down from up north, you're doing a vacation, and you want to take them out. You want it to look nice. You want it to be glossy and
So, do most people paint it the color it was, or do people say, "Hey, you know what? I want my boat to stand out."
typically, I see a lot more color changes. A
Okay.
lot of boats come factory done with either a gray or a white,
Right.
and I've in the last couple of years I've done a lot of seafoam greens, baby blues. Once you're going to go to the work and spend the money to get your boat professionally painted, you typically want it to stand out more.
Right. I mean, that's what I would
You
think.
want
Hey,
people to say, "Hey, that's an awesome color
right.
choice."
I don't want I want my Sea Ray to look like everybody else's Sea Ray.
Exactly. They want it to look like, "Hey, I just spent the money and got a custom paint job, and this is mine. This is not just your factory looking Sea Ray."
Okay. What about the person that has like the classic wood boat?
Okay.
Do you do them?
Yeah. Yeah.
So I remember, and I'm old, so remembering's a little difficult sometimes.
Uh huh.
But we used to teak the wood.
Yeah, oh, yeah, that's
still
so
do
huge.
that?
Oh yeah, definitely. Especially on higher end sailboats
Right.
and everything, for sure.
So you teak the wood.
Teak the wood.
What about everything else? Like, that's any kind of boat. Inside is the seats, so they're vinyl, so they come out, but they're usually on fiberglass that holds up the seat.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Do people paint the inside of the boat like that too?
Yeah, yeah, I can do the inside for sure.
Well, I don't say I know you can, but do people ask
Do they?
for it?
It depends. Much less than the outside.
So I would think, and I could be wrong, that the bow riders probably don't do much on the inside of the boat.
Correct.
If they have a cabin, maybe they want to change and clean it up.
A little bit. Mostly, they'll ask for detailing services because I provide that as well.
Okay.
And once that happens, I can clean everything, and then we kind of go from, well, do you like how it looks when it's all cleaned up as best as I can make it, or, how long are you going to keep the boat, and do you want to invest in the inside? Because most people, they care more about the outside and how it looks to other people. They're less
Right.
concerned for their own.
It's like their house.
Yeah, it's like their house or the
Hey,
car.
that's my house.
Yeah, yeah.
Inside, I can have
Yeah.
crap all over the place, but it doesn't
Exactly
really
right.
matter.
Same with the car.
Okay.
You go and wash your car out on the outside.
Yeah.
How often you get under the seats though and clean the inside.
I
A
want
lot
to have
less
my
frequently.
I want to have my car detailed, but I'm embarrassed to let anybody inside the car.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, if you did that more frequently, you wouldn't be
have to
embarrassed.
Right.
Yeah.
That's true. So, if you go to someone's boat, do people take care of their boats much different than one another? I mean, like the high-end boats.
Yes, there is a much bigger difference between, say, going to look at a 70-foot yacht compared to your 16-foot fishing skiff. Much different.
So, and I'm thinking about it because I started with I think it was an 18-foot wood.
Okay.
Okay, and then I went to a 14-foot bow rider,
Okay.
which was fiberglass.
Yeah.
And then I started to step up from there. So, the guy with the little boat, does he take care of it? I mean, when I say take care of it, meaning detail, paint it less than the guy with the bigger boat?
Much less. Correct.
Okay.
Typically, the guy with the smaller boat, especially depending on the type, if it's more of like a pleasure boat or a fishing boat guys really tend to not take care of it as much, and they just want that bottom paint on. And if it gets them in the water and they catch the fish, that's their main concern.
And that was the path I was going to go down, which is I know that I've been on fishing boats and I've had boats because that's why I got a boat to fish.
Oh yeah.
And I know that sometimes on the side of the boat, what happens is you use your knife to cut the fish off, you scratch into the fiberglass and stuff like that.
Yep, your nets, your poles.
Right.
Oh yeah.
So let's go with that, meaning the boat takes a bigger beating, I think, if it's a fishing boat.
I agree very much.
Can you fix some of those issues? Like, I know you paint over fiberglass, but can you fix like a scratch in a fiberglass?
Oh yeah, for sure. I offer full fiberglassing work as well. Any scratches, gouges, holes, those are the most important you actually have to fix.
Yeah, the hole on a boat would be important to fix, I think.
It would. You don't want your
Especially
boat
if it's
getting
under the water.
Exactly.
I would think that would be one issue that you really, really want to take care of.
Most definitely.
So, do you have a busy season? Or
typically it's backwards from most of the rest of the country, but we're in Florida. But I pick up normally around after summer, and people say go back up north to their second homes, and if they're not using the boat for a while, then they want it all done.
Is that changing because people are staying here year round now?
It is. It's becoming a lot busier.
Yeah, I
technically.
would think so.
Yeah,
I
it
mean,
is.
so that being the case, let's just take a standard 21-foot boat.
Mm-hmm.
I call you today.
Mm-hmm.
When can you get it done?
If you were to call it a day, I'd look at about 3 weeks out from now.
Okay, 3 weeks till I get it back.
No, 3 weeks until I'd have you bring it to me.
Okay.
Or I would come
Okay.
to where it is.
So once you start, how long does it take before that boat can go back in the water?
At least 21, about 2 weeks, I'd tell
Really?
you. Yeah,
So okay, so that would make sense because in the summer, no one wants to pull the boat out and be without it for 2 weeks.
exactly.
So
Exactly.
so
That's kind of the rough spot, you know. They
Right.
say, "Oh, well, you can't just slap some on," and I said, "Well, I don't slap it on," you know. And there is cure time for paint too. I mean, what might only take me 3 or 4 days to paint is still going to be at least a 7-day cure time before it can be in the water for use.
So you pull the boat out. They bring the boat to you.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say
If they're able.
let's say it wasn't in the water.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Trailered in the driveway.
Right. So they bring it to you. Do you have? Is there like? I know when you paint something, you have to prime it. You have
Oh,
to
yes.
same thing.
Yes, definitely.
So you have to prime.
Sand it all down.
Oh, you do have to sand it down.
Oh yeah, you have to sand it for sure.
Okay.
And that's good though too, because when you sand it, you go over every inch, and then I'll pick up where any scratches are, any gouges, anything like that, so I can fair it before laying on the primer.
Okay. So I guess it's a lot easier if it was a trailed boat as compared to one that's been in the water.
It's a lot easier for me, yeah.
Right. Because
Definitely.
the job is now you have to clean the barnacles and all the stuff off the bottom of the boat.
Definitely.
Then you have to sand it, and then you have to prime it,
Yep.
and then you have to paint it.
And then you have to paint it or gel coat it, but yes.
Okay, so a 21-foot boat. How long does it take you to just actually paint a 21-foot boat?
Like the whole process?
No, because we know the carrying
Just the
times.
okay.
Just the painting.
Just to paint a 21-foot boat, I'd say I'd want it for about 4 days,
Okay,
4 to 5 days, like a business week.
so I'm going to guess because I've known that I've had boats, and we've painted the bottom, but we didn't want the paint going over the water line. So do you like tape it
Oh yeah.
so you can get that straight line? and
Correct.
stuff?
Yes, I'll tape your water line if that's what you want. If you're doing multiple colors, or you want to stripe, or if you want to go with the bottom paint on the bottom, and then we'll do a nice gloss on the sides for you.
Interesting.
We'll tape it and then wet sand it afterwards to get rid of the actual the difference in planes of the tape line.
So the question becomes, and just my opinion is, like if you're going to paint the boat different colors,
Mm-hmm.
okay, and people, if it was me going to you, the boat probably wouldn't match because I'm colorblind. But over and above that, when you're painting more than one color, I guess it's going to take longer.
It will take longer because now I have to let each color cure for at least 24 hours before I can tape to it.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
So
We're getting to the top of our time. How do people find you? You have a phone number?
yes, I do. 772-321-2849 is the best number to reach me.
And we found you on Facebook.
And
That's where you can find
You
you.
can definitely find me on Facebook. I have pictures of my work.
Under what? How do we find you on Facebook?
Songster Boat Painting.
So
Simple as that, just the company name.
Songster, which is your last name,
Yes, sir.
and an easy one to figure out. and
Yeah.
spell.
Yeah.
Everybody, this is again my opinion. If you ask me, maybe to paint my shutters, I would say okay, I could do that. But most things are not a DIY project, and I always say use a professional. This is one that, for me, is also not a DIY project. Okay, it's long in time, and what would take him 7 days from start to finish, probably take you 20 days. Okay, so
About right.
it's less. It's the situation is it's less time that you have your boat to utilize, and of course, you know what the facts are. If you're going to start to do it, the next and it's going to take you, let's say, 2 weeks. Those next 2 weeks, you're going to have the best weather possible, and then as soon as you're done, it's going to pour.
That's Florida for
That's
you.
the way it is.
That is life in Florida.
Peter, thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you very much for having me.
Everybody, use a professional. We'll be right back.